Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Alexia Mathieu, course leader of Master Media Design program at Head Genève. So this session this morning will be in two parts. The first part, I will present the program, which type of project we take on, what type of question we explore, and also the career perspectives. And then in the second part, I will be discussing with our first year students, Chloé Michel and Tiki Bourdin. Hello, Chloé. Hello, Tiki. And as well as with an alumna of our program, Marta Revuelta. She graduated in 2019. And we'll talk about what she's been up to. So hi, Marta.
Hi.
Thank you for being here. And please feel free to ask questions in the chat. We have Nicolas Baldron. Hi, Nicolas, assistant in our program, and he will answer all your questions. All right, let's go. So what is Master Media Design? So our program is a 2-year professional program that focuses on interaction design for scientific and social innovation, which means that we create new type of uses, scenarios, and applications for digital technologies. Our process is based on a fine understanding of user experience issues and the world that surrounds us. And our aim, really, why we're here, what we love to do in this master program is to anticipate the impact of digital technologies on future societies. More specifically, we address the technological and societal challenges generated by artificial intelligence and new interfaces. Which actually means that it's kind of exciting because we touch on a lot of, a lot of facets of interactive design. We discover interaction design, game design, we create connected objects, we touch on creative coding, everything related to 3D and XR, as well as research and ethnography. But more often, what we love to do is to create a mix of all those things. We love to create kind of new hybrid type of formats. Something I really wanted to specify this morning that's important to me as a course leader and also to all the teachers here is that we really promote a diversity of approach. Students can create projects that are critical, experimental, applied, or really playful, poetic, or speculative. It's a master program after all. So what we expect from our students is that they position themselves in the field of interactive design. Something else I wanted to share with you this morning, our course is, we focus on two big questions, two big themes that really passionate us here in media design. The first one is AI cultures. So it's about the impact of machine learning on contemporary culture of design, as well as investigating the consequences of AI on our societies and how designers can help investigate machine agencies. So what does that mean? Well, for example, it means learning how to use machine learning as a creative tool and experimenting with creative collaboration between humans and machine. This is the result of a workshop that we just did last semester with Matteo Loglio, interactive designer and visiting lecturer from London, where our students learn how to use runway ML and they learn how to generate new type of object, text, or strange forms. And Chloé actually will tell us a little bit more about it afterwards. Another example of what is possible that shows actually the potential of using AI in the context of creating practices. So this is the diploma project of Tamara Letas. She graduated in 2020, and she created a publishing house that promotes AI writers to create fictional stories from personal data. So if you want to write your biography with an AI called Simon, is a bit crazy, but kind of fun. I will invite you to go to metastories.ch, give it a go, tell us how it went for you. It's kind of a really interesting project. But more importantly, it's about also understanding through practical experiment and seminar, the ethical impact of such technologies on our everyday lives, bringing a critical reflection about algorithmic biases. So this is the project, diploma project for Marta that she did in 2018. And she will tell us more about it later, but this is a really important part as well of the course. The second big question that we love to investigate and explore in this course is the idea of Technosphere. So investigating the multiple links between nature and digital technologies, as well as the impact of digital technologies on nature. So not an easy question, but I guess the question that will summarize this theme would be, what is our role as designers in the ecological crisis? So we approach this complex question in our annual trip in the Alps, where we study the landscape, its ecosystems, and the existing infrastructure. We then use our field research insights, such as textures, sound, visual, electromagnetic waves, rocks, really whatever we found interesting, to create visual design fiction and interactive experience. So here we see one of our second year students, Joanne Pardo, trying to capture some sounds. And here, Gabriel Abergel, who was trying to gather all the data from the field trip. So why we think it's important, this type of workshop? Well, because I think that, workshops that are at the crossroad of design and ethnography actually aim at teaching the importance of observation in the context of ecological crisis. And observation is the paramount skills that all designers need to have. So for example, from that, our students created new 3D visuals. So this is a rock station from Amsatou Diop and Aurélie Bell, where they imagine a rock from the future with kind of strange components. A more dystopic scenario from Lais Kunzendorf, Materia Prima, or an interactive experience that mixes sound and 3D. All right, I would love to stay in the mountains, but we have to move on. If you want to know more about this project, please check out our website, distortion.mastermediadesign.ch, and you can, see all the other projects that we do. It's a kind of an interesting source. So yes, Playable Design, another big part of the master program. We do make games, but we do it in a very experimental way, which means that we focus on narration and creative interactive narration with tools such as Fungus, Twine, Twee, GPT-2, machine learning. And the question that fascinates us here is, how do we tell stories in the mobile age? What type of new interaction and format can we imagine and create? So we don't necessarily talk about game mechanics, but we talk about what is the story shape, what type of character plot can we create, and mostly what type of new interaction can we imagine. So for example, this is a narrative game done by Katia Ferrer-Barreras in 2020, our recent graduate. Endless Dive, it's a narrative game that will bring awareness around the biodiversity in the deep sea. So she created this game by herself using Unity. Another more political type of game, which is a text-based interactive story about disappeared family members during the Lebanon War. Rofran Akil really wanted to bring that story in interactive format. Here you embody a woman, a wife, Jamila, that lost her husband, and all the action, that decision that you will take on during the story will impact the future of the game. So it's just to show really an approach that is much more experimental than, I will say, other more traditional game design courses. We also explore more hybrid format, as I mentioned already earlier. And here, this is a project called The Reading Lantern from Vincent Belay and Tamara Letes, and illustration from Poppy Matigo. So here, to show that we also think about more poetic type of interaction. The Reading Lantern will listen to you while you read a story to a child. And according to the words you say, it will adapt its light and its color, and this will impact the illustration on the game. So I will show you a video. This project was also showed in various festivals, such as Kick Festival and also the Museum of Contemporary Art in Lausanne. We also investigate VR. We are a bit critical about VR, but when we do, we try to think about all the senses. We try to go beyond the helmet. So this is a project that was shown at the Milan Design Week, Zim1. It's about a shaman that takes you in the afterlife. And again, we really encourage our students to do a lot of testing and a lot of collaboration with people to create those new type of interfaces. This is a project done by Romain Talou Pleguido, where he wanted to create new ways of learning, of teaching, rhythm and music to kids. So he's done a lot of different type of prototype and interfaces and tests. So this is an approach that our student can also develop in the master program, not necessarily thinking about the final product, but thinking about the entire process. So how do we do this? Like what type of competencies we actually teach and what is the structure of our course? So first and foremost, critical thinking and anticipation. So disclaimer, if you want to do typical UX UI design, this is not a course for you. We are here first and foremost to think critically about our relationship with technology. And we think that designers have a huge role to play when it comes to create technological system that context the status quo and that creates alternative futures. So it means that we live a lot in the near future in our course. We also do a lot of prototyping and testing. So prototyping in paper, 3D, to do quick trial and errors. And this allows you to learn how to quickly visualize your ideas, but to also learn tools, their potentials and their limitations. So this is just a quick view on our classroom, what it looks like when we can be all together. This was a workshop called Intimate Tech with Julia Tomasello and Alice Stewart about discovering subcircuits. So just to show you sometime when we work together. And also, this type of skills allow you to create interactive experiences such as this one, a fragment sonore from Gabriel Abergel, where you can listen to the Earth activity. But you're also going to learn how to create in 3D. Which means that you will learn it to create in Unity type of game or interactive experience that are not just contemplative, but are also interactive. So this is an overview of all the different competencies we teach or we discover throughout the course. So you can see it is quite broad and you get to really experience all the various facets of interactive design. It is a project-based course, which means that we function through workshops and we do collaboration with brands, festivals, and institutions. It's really key actors in the industry at national and international level. We collaborated with EPFL, Renault, UNAIDS, Manufacture, Alumna, MEG, CERN, a lot of various partners in the past. And this allows our students to collaborate with scientists, engineers, poets, sexual educators, critical thinkers. So this interdisciplinary approach is really important to us. As I said, the course is structured in 2 years. The first year focuses on workshop, practical courses, seminar, and work in the laboratory. So this is where really the first year you get to touch on a lot of different things. Hopefully this year will expand your comprehension of interaction design. We also have seminars and conferences throughout the year. So distortion series that addresses the 2 questions I mentioned at the beginning, AI cultures and Technosphere. And we also have a lot of online webinars with critical thinkers, practitioners, creative coders. So I will invite you to check our latest webinar, Creative Coding Series. You can find it on our YouTube channel. The second year is really different type of rhythm where you will really focus on your master thesis. So you will write a thesis and you will also create a practical project, and you'll be followed throughout the entire process through tutors, and we'll also do meet-greet with other tutors. So you can also have a lot of different point of views. It's really the moment for you to choose what type of designers you want to be, what type of subject you want to explore. And you will take your project from its conceptual phase to its final production phase. So really thinking about how am I going to communicate about my project, the scenario. We might do an online degree shot this year, so I will keep in touch with that. I see that my connection is not really good. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. There's also international project that we focus on. Well, hopefully, no, now we have COVID, but we hope this will change soon. Each year, our students get to go to Shenzhen to prototype a connected object. We also do field trips in the Alps or in other places, and we go visit a lot of festivals. We have yearly exhibitions, so we always have one flagship project per year where our first year students get to really think about the concept to the production and show their project in a real life context in festival. So actually our students will start their Alpine Technosphere project on Monday. And this project I showed at international shows and national shows. So for example, Numeric Games here in Switzerland, but also GDC, a big conference in San Francisco, or KIC Festival in Namur, a really important festival about interaction design here in Europe. So this is a picture of our latest exhibition, Play Me a Story. It was showed at KIC Festival in Namur, but we also showed it Design Days here in Geneva. We showed it in a Mapping Festival in Lyon, and the project was showed also in Museum of Contemporary Art in Lausanne, and some of the projects actually won several design prizes. We are really lucky here, so I think we can offer prizes to our graduates after their diploma project. So we have several prizes, such as Prix Lyon Foundation, which is around 7,000 Swiss francs, Prix Meta, Prix d'Excellence Innsbrucksdorf, and Prix d'Excellence HSSO Design. And these prizes really allow our students our graduates to take on their project to another level if they want to once they graduate. Some practical information. So this is a course that is taught in English and in French, but mostly in English, to be honest, because we have visiting lecturers from all over the world, coming from London, Egypt, US, really all over. And we actually also have really international classes. Our students come from this year Azerbaijan, Senegal, Bolivia, Switzerland, Italy, Brazil, France, and I feel I'm forgetting some of it. But yeah, so just to show that the international aspect of our course is really important to us. This is an important point, a question I get all the time. You do not need to have technical prerequisite to come to this course, right? You do not need to know how to program. You do not need to know how to use 3D. We will teach you all that, but we expect from you to be proactive about learning these skills while you are with us in the course. It is also important to note that we really try to cater to your level, and our students actually come from different backgrounds. They come from graphic design, industrial design, engineer, sometimes maybe even journalism. So here again, we think that's a really interesting dimension in our course. And you actually get to learn a lot from your peers, but maybe Chloe and Tiki will tell us about this. It's a 4-semester program. It is full-time. It is quite intense, I have to say, but we are a fun group. So the year is always kind of like intense and a lot of things happen at the same time. This is the list of our professors. They come from a lot of different type of expertise in the field of interaction design. Same thing for our visiting lecturers coming from all over the world. For example, Marie Domanger coming from Berlin, or Dan Hill from Sweden, or Alice Stewart from London. So we try really to have those visiting lectures coming throughout the time here. What's next? What type of career can you do after media design? So you can do research. If you want to start a PhD, you can also work in creative industries as a game designer, UX, UI designer, or again, as an interactive designer or graphic designer. Or you can also decide to start your own company or a startup. So this is something that Marion Barret did, that you see here in the picture with the studios Tourmaline in Geneva. So the perspective are quite broad. Don't forget, application deadline 13th of April 2021. Other info on HEAD website. If you want to know more about our course, please go check out our Instagram at HEAD Media Design, so you can follow us on a more regular basis. And also more information on Porte Ouverte at head.ch, where you can also have a look at our building and where we work. And yeah, I guess that concludes the first part of my talk. I will now invite Tiki and Chloe to join me, 2 first-year students from media design. Hello, how are you? Good?
Hello, good.
Nice. Okay, could you quickly introduce yourself? Maybe Chloe, can you start?
Yes, well, I'm Chloe, so I'm a 24-year-old student here in media design. I come from France with a background in graphic design and digital creation.
And what about you, Tiki?
Okay, so hi, I'm Tiki. I come from Italy actually, but I came here to study, and I've finished a bachelor here at TED too. So.
And you did a bachelor in jewelry, right? In accessory.
Yeah, I was in jewelry, accessory, and product design for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. And maybe before we dive into a more specific project, could you maybe tell me a little bit, maybe share with others why you decided to choose this master? Maybe Tiki, you can start.
Yeah, so after my 3 years in a more practical way of creating jewelry and objects that are related to our bodies, I wanted to go further and explore other interactions that make our object as fetishes and maybe entities that we can speak to, that we can interact with. And so I came to know about this master, and I was like, okay, it's the perfect mix of everything I need. And also through the workshop that we had, for example, we will talk about this later, a workshop on intimate tech, and it was like the perfect mix of having like this jewelry side and practical side to this interactive and more poetical side of it.
Yeah, so you were more interested in the learning about how to create wearables and what comes out around them.
Exactly.
And what about you, Chloe? Why did you choose to join us?
For me, it's because during my previous master, I was in STN and I started a thesis about the ecological impact on new technologies on nature and the world and the society in general. And so I was really interested in this approach that is really important in media design and the fact that it thinks about new technologies in a really critical way. And I felt it was a good opportunity to be able to pursue that research during these 2 years here, as well as learning more about like new technologies and improve my technical abilities.
Mm-hmm. And so I gathered some of your projects. So I believe Open Irma is your project, Chloe. So it's a project you've done with Matteo Doglio during the Machine Learning Week. Could you maybe tell us a bit about it?
Yes, it's a project that we were three working on it with Paul and Thibaut, which are also in media design. And it was really interesting because it was the first time I had the opportunity to work with AI. So we worked on Runway ML to learn about machine learning and to train an AI on some data. So we scraped some horoscopes from a website, so approximately 9,000 of them, and we feed them to the AI then was capable of generating horoscopes itself, and which can be really funny to read and really interesting as well. So we created this website, which we are probably going to improve again, so it can be online and people can get their own AI horoscope.
Nice. Well, let me know when you put it online. I love to play with it. Okay, so this is another workshop that you've done with Julia Tomasello and Alice Stewart around intimate tech. And I know that Tiki, there was a workshop that you particularly enjoyed. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so on this project, we worked both with Chloe and Joanne, a second-year student, and it was all around making like soft robots, working with conductive wires, and everything related to the body. So with Joanne and Chloe, we developed a personal bubble. So when you feel like overwhelmed with the world around you, so this is like the first of the first prototype. But we worked on this bubble, so you have a hoodie that you can put all over your head, and you're gonna have like some music going on and LED lightning, so you can relax, chill for a moment, and then come back to reality when you're ready. And it was so interesting. Also working with Chloe, that has already like a background in technical, and seeing how our different competencies can mix together to create a cool project in like visually speaking and technically speaking. So it was really interesting.
Chloe, do you wanna add something?
Yes, like Tiki, I felt it was really interesting to work together because Joanne is more about sound design. I was more technical, and Tiki was really at ease with like the fabric and the more like jewelry and wearable aspects. So we really worked well together, and it was really satisfying to be able. It was made in 3 days, so it was really intense, but really satisfying in the end to have this prototype working.
Yeah. And also working with Julia and Alice, they're just great person doing like amazing projects. So go check them up.
Yes, definitely go check them up. They are great, and we're so happy to have them as visiting lecturers. So I guess that was I have a question following up on what you just said. So I have this video from Chloe that kind of you recorded yourself.
Yes.
This was done for the Laboratoire Électronique with Pierre Rossel and Laure Crayon-Boule, when you had called Sensing Nature, when you had to create an interactive object that will deal with data that you could gather in nature and our relationship with nature in a city. So I guess my question, I mean, I love this video. My question is, what are the challenges that you face in this program so far? You know, maybe Chloe, you can start, and then Tiki.
Well, as you all know, we've been in lockdown, in and out, and in this crisis, which is particularly, I think, challenging for Ed because the students come both from Switzerland and France, so they have to adapt to both countries' regulations. And one of the challenges was to be able to prototype while being stuck at home. And so you kind of learn to adapt and to do with whatever you have around you, and
Yeah.
which can make it quite funny or quite hard sometimes. But in the end, it's really rewarding because you learn so much more, I think, than if you had everything there and now. So yeah, I recorded myself while I was trying to build some platform to see some data from earthquakes, and I had to really do with what I had, and Amazon was my best friend at that moment.
And maybe Tiki, you can tell us, you know, what are the competencies that you learned so far, and maybe some stuff that you're really looking forward to for the following semesters.
Yeah, so I feel like one of the challenges for me, as I didn't have like a technical background in coding or electronics, like I was interested in this kind of themes. I did my little tests at home, but it was like coming to the master and having a whole world and universe opening in front of my eyes. So it is both a challenge and also like a motivating factor, because I was like, okay, I can do everything now. It's amazing. At school we have all the workshop, and the prof are really there for you to develop your idea. So like it was really interesting to discover like so many things, but I think it's then choosing your right tools to work. So I learned a lot during the first semester. It was more on programming and electronics with Arduino and Lilypad and so whatsoever. And now I'm really looking forward to create interaction on more on interfaces, so working with Unity and creating immersive spaces through 3D animation. And also I really look forward to the Technosphere workshop, because I think it's really important for designers of today to get sensibilized on these kind of themes. And also in media design, I think it's really, really interesting because you have like specific tools that will help you to interact with people, so touch as much as people possible on this kind of.
And what about you, Chloe? What are you looking forward to? We have like 1 minute left.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward for the Technosphere project as well, because like as I said, I'm really interested in linking new technologies to the impact on the planet, and so that's one project I'm really looking into, and also learning new technical skills and just like, yeah, starting on the thesis and on everything and exploring more about this.
Yeah, I guess you have 1 semester to go, and then you'll have your practical project to think about. So I'm also really excited to see what you're gonna do. Well, thank you very much, Tiki and Chloe, for joining us this morning. And then I will move on to our third guest, Marta Revuelta. Alors, je vais passer en français du coup pour cette partie. Donc, Marta Revuelta, tu es une alumni du Master Media Design. Tu as été diplômée en 2018. Et donc, ton projet AI Facial Profiling que tu as fait donc, en 2018 se focalise vraiment sur l'impact des intelligences artificielles et le profilage facial sur notre société et notre quotidien. On a vu quelques photos au tout début de ma présentation, mais est-ce que tu peux nous en dire un peu plus, s'il te plaît?
Tout d'abord, merci Alexia de l'invitation, c'est super être ici. Alors, en fait, c'est que moi, je suis assez un exemple, comme Alexia a dit, j'ai rentré dans les masters, j'avais absolument aucune compétence en programmation. Et pour autant, j'ai fini en travaillant avec l'intelligence artificielle, chose qui à la base, c'est pas super simple. Et en fait, j'étais toujours intéressée dans les rapports politiques avec le design. Avec l'intelligence artificielle, les rapports et les impacts ou la perspective éthique de ces systèmes, il me paraissait très intéressant à explorer. Plus spécifiquement, je suis assez intéressée sur les technologies de biométrie. En fait, tout ce qui concerne la reconnaissance faciale, les profilages faciales, le fait que des machines ils nous classifient, ils font des prédictions sur nous et ils nous classent dans une espèce de catégorie. Donc, avec ce projet, on a exploré tout ce que c'est le profilage facial, c'est-à-dire à partir des données biométriques d'une personne, on peut la classer dans la catégorie suspecte ou pas suspecte parce qu'il n'est pas dangereux. Et ça nous a permis d'envisager une installation interactive parce que l'intérêt, c'était créer une expérience vis-à-vis des gens, les mettre dans un genre de mise en scène de comment ça se passe, ce développement technologique dans le domaine de la sécurité. Donc, en fait, l'intérêt, c'était créer des expériences à partir d'une installation interactive pour que les gens ils puissent avoir cette comment dire, cette émotion de qu'est-ce que ça fait être classé et probablement discriminé en fait pour ce type de machine.
Mm-hmm. Et c'est vrai que c'est un point de vue très important dans ton travail, justement, de mettre les personnes en situation pour qu'ils comprennent les impacts directement, finalement, de ces nouvelles technologies qui, parfois, peuvent être très abstraites pour le grand public. Mais après, donc, ensuite, tu as fait, ta machine a voyagé dans le monde. J'en sais quelque chose parce que je l'ai suivi un peu partout. Et tu as gagné le prix Art et Humanité qui est donné par le CSR, la Croix-Rouge et la Genève en 2018. Et ça a été un peu, je dirais, un point de départ pour toi. Est-ce que tu peux nous parler un peu de la suite après, comment ton projet il a vécu, quoi, parce que cette machine, elle a un peu une vie par elle-même maintenant.
Et c'est pas fini. Hein,
et c'est pas fini, je sais.
Elle a quand même de longues vies d'avant elle aussi. En fait, les prix à Humanité, ça a été une porte-clé, en fait, dans ma production, dans beaucoup des aspects. Il a représenté une énorme opportunité parce que ça a donné l'opportunité j'ai fait la connaissance de toute l'équipe de Philippe Stoll, de CICR, qu'en fait, l'humanitaire, il est actuellement très préoccupé sur des questions digitales. Et en fait, à partir de l'art, le design, les interactions avec le public, ça se trouve que le design, il a une force de communication pour ces questions de risques et ces questions éthiques. Et des fois, c'est beaucoup plus clair et plus direct vers les gens de comprendre un peu les enjeux de ces nouvelles technologies. Donc, on a fait des énormes plusieurs collaborations. On a parti avec la machine à la conférence internationale de la Croix-Rouge. Et c'est pas fini, en fait. On continue à collaborer avec avec l'équipe del CICR dans les domaines humanitaires, foncièrement, spécifiquement. Mais c'était assez très intéressant. C'est lié avec les domaines humanitaires.
Et là, on a encore 5 minutes qui nous restent. Et donc là, je montre une photo, une image de toi en action, en fait, qui est en train de profiler finalement les visiteurs de tes expositions. Et puis, je voulais très rapidement que tu nous parles un peu justement du workshop que tu avais fait avec les premières années au début du semestre, et justement que tu nous dises pourquoi, selon toi, c'est important qu'on explore cette question du machine learning dans le contexte d'un master en design.
La chose, c'est qu'au début, pour moi, c'était pas si naturel. Penser que comme designer, quand on travaille avec la technologie, nos créations, notre projet, il peut avoir un impact énorme à niveau social, à niveau culturel, à niveau écologique. Donc, en fait, c'est quelque chose qui n'est pas aussi naturel, mais en fait, je pense qu'on a une énorme responsabilité. Les designers ou les artistes qui travaillent avec la technologie, on a une responsabilité de qu'est-ce que ça va donner cet impact, en fait, vis-à-vis. Je pense que c'est un point extrêmement important. Être conscient de l'impact que nos créations il peut avoir dans le monde.
Et tu as d'ailleurs plein de projets qui arrivent aussi sur ce sujet-là. Tu as montré notamment un projet au Mapping Festival, dernièrement à Genève. Voilà, donc je vous invite à suivre le travail de Marta, revuelta.ch. Je ne sais pas si tu veux ajouter encore quelque chose ou c'est tout bon.
En fait, je vous entendais et je pense que pour moi, le master, il a été une excellente occasion aussi pour explorer entre les liens entre le digital et l'analogique. En fait, pouvoir expérimenter beaucoup sur cette pratique. Parce que finalement, c'est des concepts, la technologie, il y a plein de concepts très abstraits. Et en fait, c'était une occasion excellente pour mettre les mains en pratique. Et je me suis touchée aux ingénieries, mais on se touche aussi à la mécanique, à l'électronique. Donc, en fait, c'est quelque chose d'assez complet, finalement. Et il y a une autre chose qui m'a venue à l'esprit en écoutant les projets extra que vous faites actuellement. C'est que c'est jamais pareil, en fait. Chaque projet, il te met d'avant à des différents challenges, des différentes recherches. Tu vas pratiquer différentes technologies. Et ça, c'est assez passionnant. On ne s'ennuie jamais, en fait.
Oui, c'est vrai que c'est assez intense les 2 ans en média design. Mais merci beaucoup, Marta, de nous avoir rejoints. Pour nous, c'est hyper important de garder contact avec nos alumni et puis d'avoir notre petite communauté média design. Donc, merci beaucoup. Donc là, on approche à la fin de notre session. Je vous invite encore à aller voir découvrir notre Instagram si vous ne le connaissez pas déjà. Et puis, d'aller sur le site Porte Ouverte de la Aide Genève pour plus d'informations. Voilà, je vous remercie. Merci à Tiki, Chloé, Marta et Nicolas. Et puis, je vous souhaite une très bonne journée. À tout bientôt.
Merci.